I woke up this morning, none of the news was good. Death machines were rumbling across the ground where Jesus stood. And the man on my TV told me that it always been that way, and there was nothing anyone could do or say. And I almost listened to him. Yeah, I almost lost my mind.
Ever since the War of 1812 against England, I have been the symbol, the face of the USA. That means I was born in war, and I still represent the aggressive, militaristic face of the USA. But the USA actually has two faces. The other face of America is the Statue of Liberty. She has the face of humanism, freedom, solidarity, and justice for the poor, oppressed, and persecuted of the world. I wear several hats with my aggressive face.
And there'll be no barricades then. There'll be no wire walls, and we can wash off.
As the representative, the leading imperial power of the capitalist countries, I wear my cowboy hat with a sheriff's badge. An American sheriff keeps order in the world, naturally, our world order. I am responsible for the security of our natural resources, such as oil, and for the security of the investment of our capitalist elites. When I say on my poster, I want you, I want you, I want you, I mean, I want you for my wars that will box through the interests of the dominant minority of the property throughout the world. For all of this, I also have my deputy sheriffs who are meeting today in the Hotel Bayerischer Hof. Deputies like Tony Blair, and Frau Merkel, and their vigilantes who take international law into their own hands.
Then I regained my senses again and looked into my heart to find that I believe that one fine day all the children of Abraham will lay down their swords forever.
With my aggressive face, I also wear the top hat of the capitalist because my actual task is to defend, spread, and expand private capital into countries in which I and my bourgeois cronies can exploit working people most effectively and can take their natural resources for our own use. I have proven often enough that if necessary, I am prepared to kill millions of people to reach my goals. I don't have a bad conscience because those who stand in my way and unabashedly struggle for self-determination are not human beings for me. They are like cockroaches. Made big, big profits killing such cockroaches. Through the slavery of 3.5 million people in the southern states of the USA, hundreds of thousands of blacks died. But the nigger cockroaches were needed as free labor by my plantation owner friends. The U.S. expanded from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean by fighting more than 40 wars from 1775 until 1890 against the Native Americans. 45,000 were murdered and 100,000 forced into reservations. I say, who would like to live on the same fertile land with red-skinned cockroaches? I went to war against Mexico in 1846 because I wanted land that belonged to Mexico, right up to the Rio Grande River. My troops also conquered California in 1847. 25,000 Mexicans died fighting to keep their land from me, from the United States. It was in the Philippines between 1899 and 1902 that I gathered firsthand experience in a war against terror. I treated the rebels like cockroaches. About 1 million of them were killed or died before I could claim victory. The Vietnamese were red cockroaches for me. Why, this pest that came from North Vietnam was so infectious that I even made plans to use nuclear weapons as insecticides. But even without nukes, my chemical weapons eliminated hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions, of these red Vietnamese cockroaches. In total, 1 million Vietnamese fighters and 4 million civilians. Still, in 2007, there are 1 million adults and 150,000 children in Vietnam who were sick and malformed from my cockroach-killing insecticides. You know only too well what I've done in the 2 Iraq wars. The contrast between my 2 faces is the ideological expression of the clash of class in the USA, the conflict between the capitalist elites and those who work for wages or salaries. Although these wage and salary earners differ in amount and quality of their education, in their professions, their incomes, and in ethnicity, they all have to sell their mental and physical labor to these elites, their employers. The conflict between labor and capital is the major conflict within the USA. The distribution of power between these 2 classes with their conflicting interests, one in the highest possible profit, the other in secure lives and justice and equality in the distribution of economic, political, and natural resources, determines the current foreign policy of the USA. This is why mass movements which incorporate the values of the other face of America, the face of the Statue of Liberty, are so important in the USA, as well as here in Munich and the rest of Germany and the countries of the European Union. Peace through dialogue, the slogan propagated by Herr Telchik, the president of Boeing Europe, and organizer of the NATO so-called security conference, will only be realized by people's power today and in the future. That is, only when we change the power structure will we be able to change the so-called security conference, even eliminate it, as we want to eliminate the need for a NATO to defend interests that are only the interests of a minority.
I woke up this morning, none of the news was good. All this blood from our hands and all this hatred from our souls. And I believe that on that day, all the children of Abraham will lay down their swords forever in Jerusalem.